We don't copy, we carve out lanes, turn old time ticks into wrist thrown flames. Pocket watch flip to a wrist grenade. Antique soul in a modern frame. Steel in my stare like the steel in the lugs. Blueprint mind, put the heat in the lugs. They just slap parts on. We redesign blood. Code 6 customs built different. High grade grind that real imprint. They play dress up, we build engines. Tick turn lethal, that time conviction. Code 6 customs built different.
This is David, Code 6 Customs, and I realized I haven't done a YouTube video in a while. I moved all my stuff to a new setup, which I'm really happy with. Got plenty of room now to work on watches, to do live streams. And I did a live stream yesterday on Whatnot, where I got a bunch of my stuff and I went through it. Some of the interesting things that I've had over the past couple weeks. And I realized I haven't done a video in a while. So at some point, I'm going to do a video on my whole new setup. But right now, I'm just going to do a video on some of the cool stuff that I've gotten over the past few weeks while I've been switched over. I'm waiting for my cases to arrive for my next antique mod round, where I take antique pocket watches and convert them to wristwatches. And in chasing stuff for that, I end up buying a lot of other stuff, which if you've seen my other videos, I say that over and over again. I buy a lot of stuff. Sometimes people ask me, you know, I see you in these shows, in these Whatnot streams, and you buy great stuff. You wait till the great stuff comes and you pop it. But then I also see you buy shit sometimes. And you're right, sometimes I do. But there's reasons, so I'll go through some of the reasons. So, on my Whatnot stream yesterday, I harvested these parts from movements that I can't use or that are too far gone for me to mess with. A couple of those are over here. So, basically, I buy stuff that strikes me right. So, start off, let me move these out of the way for some background ambiance, right? This is going to be cool. This is going to be my first Bulova conversion. That's going to be for a gentleman that runs Bourbon King Collectibles. So that's going to be very cool. I'm having a one-off case made for that. This one is going to be insanely cool. My customers tend to really like fancy dials. And how cool is that? How cool is that? So that's an 1892 Elgin. And that's going to be a really nice piece also. Let me get that out of the way. So, first thing I'll show is this. This I saw in a live stream on Whatnot. And it has a very unique dial. And I could see in the stream that it was a runner. I haven't had a dial like this. Very unique dial. That's why I bought that. And that's a runner. So that is a purchase that I made that was not shit. In that same stream, I bought this. So this looks beat. But I bought it because it is a South Bend movement. You can... upside down. And I'm handling it with no care because I know I'm going to clean it up and whatever. It's a South Bend piece. I could tell that the balance was free. But this dial, I really wanted to look into this dial. So if you look real close, you could see it's marked Chaz G. Jones. So it was personalized for Charles Jones, right? If you look real close, you could see under that family crest, there was the South Bend logo. So if you look real close at that, that is like a sticker almost, or some kind of an applique that was put on there over the South Bend logo. So this, I'm going to look into that family crest. I'm going to look a little deeper into the watch itself. But that is a really cool piece. And I bought that because it's a very interesting piece. Now, let me preface this. I was in another stream where I bought a lot of stuff really cheap. And there's stuff in there that I clearly cannot use. But let me show you the things that I bought and why I bought them. So this is an Illinois movement. I bought that just for the dial. Now, whether or not the movement works, it doesn't, because there's no balance wheel. So this is going to be a parts movement for me, or if I have a balance wheel to fix this one. But I bought that for the dial, because even if I can't do anything with the movement, I can use the dial. And I think I picked this up for like $5. So, you know, just for the dial alone, that's worth it. This Waltham, I don't know if the balance is free. It is. I don't know if it'll run. The reason I bought this was the hands. Spade hands in gold or gilt color are not real common. So it's missing the seconds hand. I have gold seconds hands I can use. They're kind of universal, but gold spade hands are not real common. And this dial is pretty good too. So again, for a couple dollars, I picked that up. This is a Betsy Ross, which is another uncommon piece. That dial can clean up. I see no real cracks on it. So, first and foremost, that's going to be a pretty rare dial. It's going to be a pretty rare movement. It's marked Betsy Ross. Now, it was probably made for Betsy Ross Company or balance is shit. But again, who knows when I might need that Betsy Ross dial. This is another one that I bought that most likely I can't use. That's United States Watch Company. The balance is shit. This is so hard with this angle. I gotta figure something out better. The size of my fucking hand. Alright, so that could be a parts movement, but again, who knows when I might need a good United States Watch Company dial. So that's that. Same thing with this one. Now, I can't use lever sets, and I saw in the stream it was a lever set. So I know I can't use it as a conversion. But just for that dial, if I ever have a U.S. watch company, it's co-signed Waltham. So this was in the period when U.S. Watch Company was in transition to becoming Waltham Watch Company. So that dial alone is worth my $5 or $6 that I spent. Same thing with that one. Another United States Watch Company, another lever set that I can't use. But these dials alone could come into play later on. And, you know, for a total of about $4 or $5 a piece, why not? And then this was also in it. This is like tiny. There's really nothing I could do with that. But who knows? When a small wristwatch might come up and I might need some, that's probably like a 6.0 or smaller. Maybe even an 8.0 or 10.0. But that could come into play at some other point. I'll go through a couple of these. Sometimes I pick up watches. Pick that up, and it's just because it's cool. And you know, it's a telemeter kind of setup. But if you notice, the sub dials move in conjunction with the hands. So I'm not sure exactly how this works, but it does have a chronometer or a stopwatch function. And when I cracked this open, this was kind of puzzling to me because this is really a simple, reminds me of a dollar watch movement. It's only like, what is it, 1 joule? 2 joules? No joules, 0 joules. So it's a 0 joule movement. I would expect a much more complicated movement in that, but we got what we got. So that alone is interesting to me. Now it's a non-runner. It's going to become a runner, and I actually really like that watch, so I'll probably use it. Keep it. Pick this up. The interesting thing about this is this is a military watch. It is most likely going to be a Bulova, but it's very light, and the reason it's light is because it's a plastic case, and you can see there's no case back. There's no way to get in there and open that watch. Reason being, because this was designed as a disposable watch. When it stops running, you're just supposed to throw it away. So that alone is pretty cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but we will see. I picked this up. This is a Waltham movement. It's an old Waltham tank. It is a runner. Eagle-eyed watch folks will look at the loom, and you know that's going to be straight radium. And that's actually probably reloomed because it's sloppy. See how sloppy the radium is? But cool nonetheless. I need to find a case back for it, which will be like finding a needle in a haystack. But that's a cool piece. A few other pieces I picked up here that really aren't worth mention. This came with a lot. Somebody drugged this through a porta potty, it looks like, both sides. So there's not a whole lot I can do with that. That would have been a really cool dial if I could have done something with it. This was an impulse buy because I had my head down during a stream, and I heard them talking about it, and then I looked up and it wasn't going for too much money. So I threw a bid at it and it stuck. This is a Fusey pocket watch. So it's an old key wound design. It's going to be a tip out, or tip in, or tip somewhere. Stand by. Everybody calm down. There it is. So the movement tips out, and this is a legit Fusey. Now Fuseys were very old, and they were chain driven. I don't know if you could see in there. That is not your typical pocket watch movement, but it's chain driven, which is very cool. And the balance wheel, which is up on top here, see the balance wheel moving. So that's just something I'm going to dig into because it's cool. Can't use it for any kind of a conversion, but it's cool. So those are some of the things I picked up. I have this Hamilton movement. It's good. But there's something definitely wrong with it. I'm going to have to work with that. Pick this up because it is a Walkman. Giegendel Walkman. It's a pocket watch. I just picked that up because I haven't had a Walkman pocket watch yet. It has a free balance. It will run if I can find a stem for it to wind it. That is a garbage dial. That is actually pretty cool how that wore, how that aged, but Again, that's nothing I can really use, but it's just something I bought that's cool. This I picked up. It's labeled Zook's Special. So you'd think it was just like kind of a private label dial, but it's actually labeled Zook's Special Lancaster on the back. So Lancaster's the home of Hamilton. So I'm going to do a little research to see what this is. I don't know if it's a Hamilton movement. I don't know what it is. But I picked that up because that's cool. So not everything you see me buying in some of these streams is something I can use, something that I can turn into something like that, or that trench watch, or that resto mod, or something that's just a functional military watch, or something that I can, it has the original movement and Elgin case, or a Waltham trench watch that has the original Waltham case. These are all available right now, by the way. So I don't always pick up stuff that I can use for that, but I pick up stuff with potential to use for other things, and some of it just because it's cool. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's where you see all the cool stuff happen. C6C Watches on Instagram. You can get involved in buying some of these marriage watches or whatever else I have, some of these regular customs. All the new builds go up there first. You can contact me there for custom commissions. And at some point, very soon, I'm going to do a new bench tour. And there is a lot of real estate to go through. So, appreciate everybody's support. And see you next time.
Wanna chase the throne, but the crown's still mine. Code 6, Code 6. The king, the throne, the crown. They try, they fail, can't ever break us down. Tick-tock, they watch, but they can't match the sound. Code 6 Customs, we forever wear the crown.